Alice had always been enamored with football. She frequently attended matches, though she consistently observed the game from the stands. One ordinary evening, after a busy day at work, she decided to attend the game Real Madrid against Barcelona. Her favorite player, John Miller, was on the field. She admired his skill, his energy, and the way he gave himself to the game. This time, Alice's seat was closer to the field than usual. She could feel her adrenaline rising with each passing minute as John drew closer. The game was exciting, and in the last minutes, John scored the decisive goal that brought victory to his team. After the match, Alice decided to stay near the stadium, hoping to see her idol. She was standing near the players' exit when she suddenly saw John. He caught her gaze, their eyes met, and a spark flew between them. "Hello?" John said, stepping closer. "I saw that you supported us today. Thank you." Alice could feel her heart pounding in her chest. She did not expect such a meeting. "Hello," she answered, smiling. "I always come to your matches. You play great." "It's very nice to hear that," John smiled back. "Maybe we could drink coffee together. I would like to know more about my most loyal fan." Alice agreed, and they went together to a cozy cafe near the stadium. This evening was the beginning of something special between them. Over the next few weeks, Alice and John began to see each other more often. They visited restaurants, cinemas, walks in parks together. Alice could not believe that she met such a wonderful man, who is not only talented on the field, but also very considerate and kind in life. One evening, after a walk along the Dnieper, they stopped by a bench, admiring the night view of Kiev. John took Alice's hand and looked into her eyes. "Alice, you have become someone special to me in this short time," he said. "I want you to know that I value you very much, and I want us to continue this journey together." Alice felt her heart clench with happiness. She hugged John, feeling his heart beating next to hers. "I really appreciate you too, John," she whispered. "You make me happy." They continued to meet, and every day brought new impressions and joy. John introduced Alice to his friends, family, and she felt like she was becoming a part of his life. However, not everything was so simple. John was often busy with training and matches, and sometimes their plans were disrupted. Alice understood that Coley's career was very important to him, but it was difficult for her to cope with the constant absence of her beloved. One evening, when they were supposed to meet for dinner, John called Alice to let her know that he was running late for practice. She sat in the restaurant waiting for him, feeling sad and disappointed. When he finally came, he saw sadness in her eyes. "I'm sorry I'm late," he said, sitting down next to him. The coach insisted on additional training. "I understand, John," replied Alice, "but sometimes it seems to me that football is taking you away from me." John took her hand and looked into her eyes. "Alice, you are very important to me. I know it's hard sometimes, but I try to find a balance. Please don't doubt my feelings." Alice felt her frustration dissipate. She knew that John was trying, and that their relationship was worth the effort. "I understand," she smiled. "Let's support each other, despite all the difficulties." Despite all the difficulties, Alice always supported John. She often attended his matches, even when they were away from home. She knew that her presence in the stands gave him strength and confidence. One day, when John was playing an important match for the national team, Alice went with him to the other side of the country to support him. She sat among the other fans, feeling her heart pounding with every minute of the game. The match was tense, and it seemed that the result would be decided only in the last seconds. When John scored the decisive goal, Alice jumped for joy, shouting his name. She knew that this moment was possible because of their joint support. After the match, John approached Alice, hugged her, and whispered in her ear, "Thank you for always being there. You are my inspiration." Alice felt her eyes fill with tears of joy. She knew that their relationship had grown stronger because of these trials. One summer evening, when Alice and John were walking in the park, they began to talk about their dreams. Alice always dreamed of opening her own coffee shop, where people could enjoy delicious drinks and a cozy atmosphere. "I want to create a place where people can relax and enjoy the moment," shared Alice. "This is my dream since childhood." John smiled and hugged her. "I believe that you will be able to fulfill your dream," he said. "I will always be there to support you." Alice felt her heart fill with gratitude. She knew that with such a supportive partner, her dreams could become reality. John also shared his dream. He wanted to become not only a successful football player, but also a coach to pass on his experience to the younger generation. "I want to help children develop their talents and reach the top," he said. "This is my dream after finishing my career as a player." Alice felt proud of John. She knew that his dreams would also become reality through his persistence and determination. Over time, Alice began to take the first steps towards realizing her dream. She found a small space in the city center that was perfect for a coffee shop. John helped her with renovations, planning, and equipment selection. They worked together in the evenings and on weekends, turning the old premises into a cozy coffee shop. Alice could feel their relationship growing stronger as they worked together. One day, when they were finishing the finishing touches, Alice looked at John and said, "Thank you for all your support. I wouldn't have been able to do it without you." John smiled and hugged her. "This is your and you have done a great job. I am proud of you." Alice Cafe opened, and from the first day it was a great success. People came to enjoy the coffee and atmosphere created by Alice. John would often come after practice to support her and enjoy her delicious coffee. After opening the coffee shop, Alice felt that her life became more complete. She enjoyed every day, meeting new people and creating a cozy atmosphere. But most importantly, she felt that her relationship with John had become even stronger. One day, when John arrived at the coffee shop after an important match, he brought a surprise with him. He took a small box out of his bag and handed it to Alice. "This is for you," he said, smiling. Alice opened the box and saw a beautiful locket engraved with my inspiration. "This is a sign of my gratitude for everything you do," explained John. "You inspire me every day." Alice felt tears of happiness welling up in her eyes. She hugged John and whispered, "Thank you, John. You are also very important to me." One winter evening, when Alice and John were walking in a snowy park, John suddenly stopped and took Alice's hand. "Alice, you know that you are very important to me," he began. "I want to spend my whole life with you." Alice felt her heart pounding. She couldn't believe her ears. John got down on one knee and took a small box with a wedding ring from his pocket. "Alice, will you become my wife?" he asked, looking into her eyes. Alice felt her eyes fill with tears of joy. She nodded and answered, "Yes, John, I agree." He placed the wedding ring on her finger, and they embraced, feeling their hearts beat in unison. This moment was the beginning of a new chapter in their lives. Alice and John began to prepare for the wedding. They chose the place, decor, invitations, and everything else that makes this day special. Alice dreamed of a cozy and romantic wedding in the circle of the closest people. John was also enthusiastic about the preparation. He wanted this day to be perfect for Alice. Together, they chose a dress for the bride, a suit for the groom, and even a menu for the guests. One evening, when they were sitting at home, considering options for decoration, John looked at Alice and said, "I want our wedding to be not just a holiday, but also a symbol of our love and support for each other." Alice agreed with him. She knew that their wedding would be a special day that they would remember for the rest of their lives. The long-awaited wedding day has arrived. Alice looked amazing in her green dress, and John was stylish in his suit. They gathered in a cozy place on the banks of the Dnieper, surrounded by their closest friends and family. The ceremony was touching and romantic. Alice and John exchanged vows, promising to support each other in all life situations. When they exchanged wedding rings and kissed, the guests applauded and congratulated them on their new status as husband and wife. After the ceremony, there was a fun party with dancing, delicious food, and toasts. Alice and John enjoyed every moment of the day, feeling their hearts fill with happiness. After the wedding, Alice and John went on their honeymoon to Italy. They dreamed of a romantic trip where they could enjoy each other and take a break from the hustle and bustle. They visited Rome, Florence, and Venice, enjoying the beauty of Italian cities, architecture, and culture. Every day was full of new discoveries and romantic moments. One evening, when they were sitting in a small restaurant on the bank of the canal in Venice, John took Alice's hand and said, "This trip is one of the best moments of my life. I'm glad we're together." Alice smiled and answered, "I'm happy too, John. Our life is just beginning, and I know we have many happy moments ahead of us." After the honeymoon, Alice and John returned to Kyiv. Life gradually returned to its usual rhythm. Alice continued to run the coffee shop, while John returned to training and matches. One evening, when they were sitting at home, John suggested spending the evening at Alice's coffee shop. They sat down at the table, enjoying coffee and talking about their plans for the future. I want us to always find time for each other, said John, regardless of how busy we are. Alice agreed with him. She knew that support and love are the basis of their relationship. Over time, John had new challenges in his career. He received an offer to play for a foreign club, which was a great opportunity for his development. But it also meant that he had to leave Alice for a while. John told Pauline about this proposal, and she supported his decision. "This is a great opportunity for you, John," she said. "I know that you will reach great heights. I will support you wherever you are." John felt grateful for Alice's support. They knew that the distance would be a difficult test, but their love and faith in each other would help them overcome all difficulties. John went to a new club, and the distance between him and Alice became a new test. They often talked by phone and video, supporting each other from a distance. Alice felt that her life had changed. She missed John, but at the same time was happy for his success. She continued to run the coffee shop and found support from friends and family. One evening, when they were talking on a video link, John said, "I miss you so much, Alice, but I know that this distance will only strengthen our relationship." Alice agreed with him. She knew that their love was strong and could overcome any challenge. A few months later, John was able to return to Kyiv for a short vacation. Alice was very glad to have him back. They were together again, and it was the happiest moment for both of them. John and Alice spent time together, enjoying every moment. They walked around the city, visited their favorite places, and just enjoyed each other's company. One evening, when they were sitting at home, John said, "I realized that the most important thing in life is to be next to a loved one. I don't want us to be separated again." Alice felt her heart fill with joy. She knew that their relationship had become even stronger because of these trials. After returning, John, Alice, and he began to discuss their plans for the future. They dreamed of a joint home where they could live together and build their lives. John also considered the possibility of returning to Kyiv and continuing his career at a local club. He wanted to be closer to Alice and support her. One evening, when they were sitting at home, John said, "I want us to be together always. I am ready to do everything so that we can live together." Alice smiled and answered, "I want that too, John. Together, we will overcome all difficulties and make our dreams come true." Alice and John found a cozy house not far from the coffee shop. They began to decorate it together, creating a place where they could feel comfortable and happy. Alice did the interior design, and John helped with the renovation work. They enjoyed working together, feeling that each day made their home even cozier. One evening, when they were finishing up the living room, John said, "Our home has become a place where I feel happy. Thank you for creating such an atmosphere." Alice smiled and answered, "This is our home, and we created it together. I am happy to be with you." Over time, Alice began to receive offers from other coffee shops to cooperate and open new establishments. She felt that her dream was becoming more and more a reality. John was also successful in his career. He became one of the key players of his club and was recognized for his achievements on the field. One evening, when they were celebrating each other's successes, John said, "We are both achieving our dreams. I'm proud of you, Alice." Alice felt grateful for John's support. She knew that their joint efforts helped to reach great heights. However, life was not always cloudless. Alice and John faced new challenges and difficulties, but they knew they could overcome everything together. One day, when Alice faced problems in the coffee shop, John supported her and helped to find a solution. "We will overcome this together," he said. "I will always be there to support you." Alice felt her heart fill with gratitude. She knew that with such a supportive partner, no difficulties were too great. Alice and John continued to go through life together, overcoming all difficulties and enjoying every moment. They knew that their relationship had grown stronger because of the trials they had gone through together. They dreamed about the future, about family and new achievements. Alice continued to develop her coffee shop, and John reached new heights in his football career. One evening, when they were sitting at home, John said, "I'm glad that we went this way together. Our lives have become happier thanks to our love and support." Alice agreed with him. She knew that their future would be happy and full of new opportunities. Their hearts beat in unison, and they knew that together they would overcome any challenges and achieve their dreams.